What if you can correct sickle cell disease using your own cells? No donor required? Well, after multiple decades of managing pain and complications, sickle cell has entered into a new era. And two words are everywhere right now, and that is gene therapy. But what is gene therapy, and is it safer? Is it more accessible? Is it really a cure? Well, let us break it down clearly and honestly. Okay, so let's just recap. Bone marrow transplants replace faulty forming blood cells. They do require a compatible donor. They are currently the only long established cure for sickle cell, but they do carry risks like graft versus host disease, and they do work, but access and eligibility is limited, and that's where gene therapy enters into the conversation. Gene therapy for sickle cell works inside your own body, uses your own stem cells by modifying them in a lab, and this is by correcting the sickle gene itself or reactivating the fetal hemoglobin, and fetal hemoglobin helps to reduce the severity of symptoms and complications. And then these corrected cells are reinfused back into the body, so there is no donor required. And as researchers explain, gene therapy aims to treat the root cause of sickle cell at the DNA level. There's two main types of gene therapy. There is gene addition and gene editing. Gene addition, which is lentiviral therapy, adds a healthy gene to override sickling. Gene editing, which is a CRISPR-based therapy, edits the DNA directly to boost fetal hemoglobin, and this prevents red blood cells from sickling. So clinical trials show reduced or eliminated pain crises, improved hemoglobin levels, and improved quality of life. Okay, so this part really matters. Gene therapy still requires chemotherapy to clear bone marrow, long hospital stays, infection risks, and unknown long-term side effects because it is still quite a new therapy. And then there's access. So get this, the cost can exceed $2 million per patient. Yes, that is $2 million per patient. So there's still quite some work to be done there. And then there's limited treatment centers and insurance barriers. So as you can see, scientific success does not equal social access. Dr. Richard Jones, director of the bone marrow transplant program at the Kimmel Cancer Center, explains that bone marrow transplants are just as effective, if not more effective, than the current gene therapy treatments. He notes that most people with sickle cell disease are eligible for transplant and that it costs significantly less than gene therapy. He also highlights an important limitation of gene therapy, mentioning that many adults are not eligible because of the high dose of chemotherapy that is required, and many people who already have organ damage cannot tolerate that. Also, he cautions that the long-term side effects of gene therapy may have potential organ damage and a higher risk of leukemia. Okay, so here is a side-by-side chart of gene therapy versus transplants. So in bone marrow transplants, a donor is required. There is GVHD risk. It is long established. There's limited matches and known long-term data. With gene therapy, it uses your own blood cells or stem cells. There is no GVHD risk. It is still emerging. There is a wider eligibility. There is long-term data still developing. So neither option is better, only more appropriate for some people. Here's where holistic health still matters and what often usually gets missed. Even with cutting-edge medicine, the body still needs support, organs still need healing, inflammation still matters, nervous system regulation is still critical, and so whether you consider bone marrow transplant or gene therapy or neither, holistic health is still essential for resilience, recovery, and long-term vitality. So a cure does not replace the need for care, it redefines it. So the future of sickle cell isn't just one solution. It is an informed choice, personalized pathways, and a whole body solution. And knowledge is where that power begins.